to no recipe required. Tonight's chicken night. This isn't going to be a specific recipe. What I'm going to do is show you, the 4 or 5 steps to basically cooking uncrappy chicken. Most of the chicken breasts that are kind of home cooked, they're kind of dry, they're kind of flavorless, because frankly, it's not a super exciting piece of meat. Not a lot of fat, not a lot of flavor to it. There's not even any skin on these boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and so they can be hard to cook really well, exciting, lots of flavor. The 2 things you want to make sure you do, and we're going to go over both of them, is 1, cooking them well, making sure they're perfectly cooked. It's kind of seared on the outside, nice and crispy. And then 2nd, adding some additional flavor. And I'm going to show you how to do that a few different ways, through sauces, through stuffings. We'll figure it out as we go. What I'm going to first do, we'll do some close-ups, show you how to prep the chicken breast a couple different ways. All right, guys, so I got 3 chicken breasts here, and I'm going to show you 3 different ways to prep them for cooking. Way number 1, so boneless, skinless chicken breast, little bag here, and then I'm going to find my mallet. Now, I use a wine bottle that screw top. Drank it, enjoyed the wine. It was a lovely bottle, A to Z Pinot, highly recommend it. And then I just filled it with water. Now you can go ahead and use this. Just use small taps to take the to knock the chicken down flat. What you can also do, let me actually show you a slightly different way to do it. You could take the chicken and essentially just use the knife. We'll go this way. Here's kind of that tenderloin piece. I take a knife and I'm just going to open that chicken up. I'm cutting halfway down through it, not the whole chicken, and then just kind of open it up like a book. This is a great way to flatten out chicken for recipes like veal piccata or Marsala, sorry, not veal, chicken piccata, chicken Marsala, salt and bocca. Dishes like that require kind of a nice flat piece of meat. The other advantage here is you thin it out to about a 1/4 inch or so. It cooks a whole lot faster. So once you go ahead and do this, all right. So we've got our chicken pounded out. Key here, to use those kind of small taps, not big huge whacks, because you don't really want to break the chicken apart. I like doing it in a bag so it doesn't kind of spread all over the kitchen. What you can do now, like I said, you can just cook it like this, or if you want to stuff it, you can put like a layer of stuffing right there and just roll the chicken right around the stuffing, tie it up, cook it like that. So, one way, great way to cook chicken breast. Way number 2, now another way I like to stuff chicken breast, as opposed to pounding it out, you can essentially just put a hole right along the inside of the chicken there and stuff it that way with just a little bit of a little bit of filling. What I'll do, I'll try and show you backwards so you can see a little better. I take kind of a small knife that's relatively easy to control and slip it right into the chicken. And I keep my hand on here so that I can feel the knife pressing through it, because I don't want to get too high and have the knife come out the top, or too low, come out the bottom. So you're trying to keep that chicken nice and level. You can get it, kind of about here. Chicken gets a little thin there at some point. Take it out. You can just kind of take your finger, go in there, spread it out, and then you've got a nice pocket in there that you can, again, take stuffing, throw it right down in there, cook the chicken breast whole, like this, and then you've got a very cool presentation. When it's cooked and you slice it, you got that stuffing running right through the middle. So, final way to prep chicken, boom, or chicken breast, that's it. Obviously there's other things to do, but you can certainly just cook it like this. The advantage here is that the thickness allows, the center to stay a little bit more juicy, or, easier to cook, but you do have to make sure it's cooked all the way through. Once the chicken comes up to room temperature, we're going to move on to the next step, which is seasoning. Okay, guys, let's keep going on making our Un-Sucky chicken. Now we prepped out our chicken breasts. Again, one just regular old chicken breast. One is essentially butterflied and pounded out It'd be great for, like I said, piccata, marsala, lots of recipes. And I got one with a hole through the middle that you could stuff. I'm not stuffing it today, but I've got recipes for stuffing chicken breasts up on the site. I'll link to a couple right here or there somewhere. And go ahead, give it a try because it's an absolutely wonderful way. So next step in making sure you got an un-sucky chicken breast is seasoning. You got to make sure salt and pepper at a minimum. Anybody that tells you, I don't want salt, I don't want to taste salt, I don't want to taste the natural flavor of the meat, they're full of crap, don't listen to them. Salt is one of those chemicals, one of those things that draw the natural flavor out of meat. And you want to go pretty liberally with both salt and pepper. I like using kosher salt on room temperature meat. So I've let the meat kind of sit out for 20 minutes, half an hour to come up to room temperature. That lets you make sure, or gives you a better chance of getting the chicken cooked through to the center to the proper doneness, not overcooked or undercooked. I'm just using the tong because I got obviously a bunch of things I'm grabbing with my hands as well. You got to be sanitary. So a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper on the chicken. Now, if you want to start talking about other seasonings, lots of things you can do at this stage. You could marinate them. If I was going to do a marinade, and again, got some of those links up on the site, a soy ginger marinade is absolutely spectacular. I would do it before salting. Go ahead and do that for a few hours, then come back, do this step. Another thing, like rubs. Rubs are fantastic. At this stage, I would add it in addition to salt. You can check the ingredients on your rub. Make sure if there's salt already in here, factor that in. You don't want to over salt. One other thing, like sauces like this, like barbecue sauce, I tend not to put them on at this stage because they're frankly full of sugar. And we're going to go into a super hot pan, and all that sugar is just going to burn. So if you're going to use like a barbecue sauce like this, I suggest doing so after the chicken has started cooking, just in those final minutes where it kind of bakes into the chicken. I've got actually a link to a baked barbecue chicken breast, show you the exact technique that for barbecue sauce applications, absolutely wonderful. So we got our salt. Oh, I forgot our pepper. Let's hit it with pepper. Now, really, probably the most important part so far, we got seasoning, that's super important, is the most important part is cooking. We got a nice hot pan. We're going to sear the outside, get that good and crusty and flavorful. That's where a lot of flavor comes from. And then we're going to finish it off just cooked through to the center. All right, so I got dueling pans going on here because I got a lot of chicken to show you. Actually, because that pounded out chicken really gets pretty big. And you don't want to crowd the pan, which is one of the keys to, again, not sucky chicken. You crowd the pan, you cool it down too much, you don't get that crusty outside on the chicken. Excuse me. So, what I got, 2 pans on the heat. They've been going for about a minute or so. You want to get them nice and hot. Enough olive oil to coat the bottom of the pan. Switch that oil around. If it's immediately starts smoking, you're probably too hot. So you want to cool it down. Just pull the pan off for a second. This is just starting to reach the smoke point. So what I'm going to do is lay down my chicken, presentation side down first. And you want to hear that nice sizzle. That's the key to making a nice dark kind of golden brown crust on the outside. If it's not sizzling, then the pan's not hot enough. So go ahead and take it out. There you go. And then you want to just leave it alone. Don't touch it. It's going to be noisy. You should hear that sizzling. It's going to be a little bit splattery. It might even be a little bit smoky, but all of that is okay. I'm not really going to turn the heat down. If you have one of these screen guards, I highly recommend investing in one. So you should be cooking nice high heat. You're going to get some of that splattering. Sadly, I only have one. Let it go for at least, so this one, so much thinner than these ones, right? Another reason why I'm doing them separately. This is probably going to take 3 minutes aside. These I'm going to let go 4 or 5 minutes before it's time to flip them. You don't want to touch them because you want the opportunity for that golden brown crust to develop. So I'm just going to leave them alone. You can kind of walk away for a few minutes. Okay, so check it out. We zoomed in now so you can see a little bit better. I have not turned the chicken. The only thing you're touching right now, if you need to, is control the heat. If you notice the pan starts blackening or really starts looking burnt, just move the pan off the heat for a minute or turn the heat down or do both. Now, this one I said is going to be the first one to flip. I can see around the edges I'm starting to get some white. That's the chicken cooked through. This is frankly probably cooked 3/4 of the way. It's not going to stick because we let it just sear and get that golden brown color. We're going to flip it over, do the same thing. Then we're going to grab our other chicken breasts and just do a quick flip on those, let them sear for a few minutes. Okay, so our chicken, beautifully golden brown on that side. We got the brown on that side, flavored, cooked all the way through. If you need to, go ahead and buy yourself a meat thermometer, but these thin ones, they're pretty darn easy to tell. You just need a few minutes each side. All right, so our thin chicken breast is done. Admittedly, these thicker guys are a little harder to tell. They're going to take a lot longer because they are thicker, and there's really no way to cook them all the way through on the pan like this, and still keep the outside from overcooking. So we got a nice caramelized outside on both sides. You can still see some pink on the side here. That's one of the ways you know that it's not done. Then I'm going to slide this whole pan. I'm going to take the entire thing, put it into a 400-degree oven, and just let the chicken breasts finish cooking. They're probably going to take about 8 minutes in the oven. The best thing to do, grab a meat thermometer, and when that center reaches 160 or 155, pull them right out. All right, guys, so while our chicken is in the oven finishing off the big chicken breast, the little one or the skinny one is over here just kind of resting. Let's talk for a minute about adding some flavor, which is the final step in making some Un-Sucky chicken breasts. Now, we already talked about adding rubs. Like 5-spice chicken is one that I absolutely love, easy to do. I do that right when I start cooking, let it kind of bake in there. When I put the chicken breast in the oven, if you want to do kind of the baked on sauce, barbecue sauce, honey mustard sauce, something like that, that's when I would add that to the chicken. Just use a brush or use a spoon, just kind of base it on, slide it right into the chicken. The heat of the oven will just kind of bake it in, but it won't be cooking long enough to burn it, which is not what you want. So then we got sauces. Now, I can do like raw sauces with chicken, like a ChimiChurri sauce I do, which is really just a bunch of herbs and garlic, some olive oil, maybe a little lemon, all chopped together. Basil pesto I would throw into that category. Really simple to do, applied after cooking. So you do the chicken, then you serve the sauce on the side, you smear a little bit on the chicken. Great way to pump up the flavor. And then my final recommendation, the pan sauce. This is the pan that we just cooked that the skinny chicken breast in. All that stuff right down there, that is awesome, awesome flavor. And you can use a little bit of olive and a little bit of stock, a little bit of wine, other ingredients to create pan sauces. You can do like cream sauces. I do a mustard cream sauce. You can do mushroom, like a Marsala sauce. Really simple to do. I'm going to link a bunch of them right here. Go ahead and check them out. They may not even be sauces I did for chicken, but they certainly work with chicken. Go ahead, give it a try. And I think our oven roasted chicken is about done. All right, guys, so we just took out our chicken breast one. I'm not even sure which one anymore. Had a hole in the center. What you really want to do, eventually you get really good and you can kind of tell by feel. But if you want, go ahead, or I suggest you go ahead, invest in a meat thermometer. This one, 167, maybe slightly more than I'd like, but pretty darn good. It also is going to matter where exactly the probe hits. This one, 162, 161, look, that's about perfect. And so what you want to do, you want to remove these from the pan. By the way, you don't want to poke them like 10 times, right? Because every time you poke, you lose a little bit of juice. So, do it when you think they're done, and then, as sparingly as you can. You want to pull these off as well. Let them rest for about 5 to 8 minutes before we cut into them. All right, guys, so we got our chicken here. Now, your final kind of test of whether it's done, there's always going to be a little bit of juice that runs out of the chicken. You want that juice to look clear, no pink, no red in there. If there was, that would indicate that it's not quite cooked, but I know this one is cooked. Those drippings, by the way, another great tip. Save this stuff, pour it right back over the cut up chicken, or use it in a pan sauce. Now, take a look at our chicken. This is how I would do, again, chicken for like a Marsala, or just about any type of dish like that, and you can see how it's perfectly cooked through. Nice and flavorful. That outside gives it wonderful crust, wonderful flavor, and we are good to go. So this is ready to plate up. Let's grab our other chicken. All right, guys, so again, we let these chicken breasts rest. We got the nice clear juice. What we're looking for would be awesome in the pan sauce. These ones, just like our skinny chicken breasts, leave the pan drippings would be absolutely spectacular as well. And go ahead, let's take a look. You can see the juice just running right out of that. Absolutely perfectly cooked through. It's squirting juice at me. This is actually the one I can see is the one we put that stuffing or the slit in there. If you wanted to, stuff it with some herbs, some, frankly, butter, some stuffing. Thanksgiving is right around the corner. It would be absolutely spectacular. Let's check out this one as well. Absolutely beautiful, perfectly cooked through. Line them up nice and pretty. That top, the charred part here packs a wallop of flavor. And these, my friends, are the perfect chicken breast, the most un-sucky chicken breast you're ever going to have. Follow these techniques, add some flavor with those sauces, and I'll see you next time on No Recipe Required. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed my secrets to un-sucky chicken breast. You too can make them absolutely fabulously. I put a ton of links up on this video. I hope you click around, you find something you like. Hope you subscribe, and I see you next week on No Recipe Required.